Week 3 of our course. So this week your readings are listed for you right here. You're going to be reading chapters 5 and 6 of the Writing the Literature Review, and you're also going to be reading this article as well as In Search of Subjectivity. Then our discussion, you're focusing on plagiarism, and we're asking you to define it. What is plagiarism? And it's often unintentional, and so I want to stress that to you. And that's why we work on becoming aware of it so that we can make sure that we are not unintentionally or intentionally plagiarizing, taking somebody else's work and claiming it as our own. So what you're going to do is you are going to, review these tools that are here and then participate in an exercise. And you're going to pick a direct quote from any of the articles that you've been reading. You'll pick a direct quote from any of the articles that you have been reading, and you're going to put it in this discussion thread with a proper citation. Then we're going to ask you to provide an appropriate paraphrase for that quote with the appropriate citation as well. This is due by Thursday at 11:59, and then you will respond to 2 peers by Sunday at 11:59 p.m., offering assistance to help them sharpen their paraphrasing and APA skills. So think about that. Don't be posting things like good job. Tell them why it was a good job. Tell them if there's anything that you think that they could do a little bit differently for next time. We're helping each other to develop these skills because this is not an easy thing to do. So this is your discussion board for this week. Assignment number 2 is also due this week. It is due Sunday, and it is chapter 1. And it's roughly supposed to be 3 to 5 pages in length. If it's less than 3, you probably did not include everything that needed to be included. If it goes over 5 a little bit, that's fine, but we really don't want, 10 pages. So aim for 3 to 5 pages. You are going to need to be including some citations. So those articles, hopefully, that you read in week 1, hopefully you'll be able to use them here. If not, you're going to want to be reading some more articles to write this chapter, and then also be taking notes on those articles for your lit review that's due in weeks 4 and week 5. So your problem purpose statement, you're going to talk about what seems to be the best fit at this time. If we need to change it a little bit as things progress, especially as you get into reading more articles, that's fine. So at this time, what is the best fit for you? And you'll briefly discuss the problem or concern that you have that is within your realm of influence, and your rationale, which is a purpose statement, for why you think that it's important to solve the problem or understand the issue. What are the desired outcomes of your study? Make sure your first sentence grabs the attention of your readers. If you look, it says that there are a minimum of 3 different sources that must be cited to support your problem and purpose statements. You will also write your research questions, your primary and your secondary research questions. Make sure when you're writing these that you're not asking a yes or no question. They need to be open-ended, and they're not always simple or basic sentences. They can be very wordy. So make sure to take a look at this article to help you develop those questions, and we'll be helping each other on this. Take a look at this checklist because this helps you to make sure that you have included everything that needs to be included in your chapter. Like it says, you need to make sure that you are including 3 sources. Right here, there are 3 sources in your problem. There are also 3 sources in the purpose statement or the purpose section. So make sure that you have those sources listed. Yes, they can be the same sources, but you need to have at least 3 citations in the problem section and at least 3 in the purpose statement, because it's adding credibility to your study. That's why you're using those citations, is you're showing that other people have also investigated this thought, and it's not just you who says, hey, this is a problem. There are other people who believe it as well. You'll talk about your subjectivity. You'll define any key terms for your project. And then please do take some time to look at the rubric, because this is what will be used to grade your study. So make sure that you have covered all of these components. This is one that's pretty easily overlooked when you're doing your definition of terms. Support them with citations. So make sure that you are listing the definition, and then each definition has a citation with it, explaining where that definition came from. You don't need to define every single term you're going to use, but do define those key terms, especially those which are critical to understand for your study. So make sure that you have talked about all of those. before you submit this to me, make sure that you have submitted to Grammarly. Remember, Grammarly's link is found under the Writing Studio tab in our course. And you'll go to the Writing Studio itself, and then you'll scroll down here, and you can click on it right here. Remember, it is free if you use this link and you use your CUI email. So at a bare minimum, spell check and submit to Grammarly. If you have time, I highly, highly encourage you to submit it to the Writing Studio. This means you have to have it finished by Wednesday to get it to them on time so that you have it back by Friday, because it is a 2 business day turnaround time. If you don't have time to get it to the Writing Studio before you submit to me, as soon as you submit to me, go ahead and send it to the Writing Studio then, because then you'll be getting feedback from me and from them and from a peer, which I'm going to discuss in just a moment. So I want you to submit to the Writing Studio no matter what. If you don't get it back in time, you can always email me. I might be able to give you an extension if you can prove that you have sent it to the Writing Studio. Just send me the confirmation email. We can discuss that, but I do want you using the Writing Studio services throughout this course. So Chapter 1 needs to go to the Writing Studio at some point. Then, what you're going to do is you're going to submit your chapter under the Submit Assignments tab. And so it's in week right here for assignment number 2, chapter 1. But I also want you to skip ahead to week 4. I know this video is for week 3. But if you skip ahead to week 4 and you skip down to discussion number 2, you will see that you're supposed to submit your chapter 1 here as well for peer review. So if you're already submitting it to the Submit Assignments tab, then you can also, in week 3, you can also skip ahead to week 4, the discussion board number 2, and post it as soon as you submit. That way it's done and you don't have to think about it. Once we get to week 4, I'll explain this a little bit more, but I'll give you a quick overview. Everybody will post their chapter 1 here. 2 peers will volunteer to review yours. All you have to do to volunteer is reply to that person's post and say, I will review yours. And then so please reply as soon as possible. But then you have until Sunday at 11:59 p.m. to actually do the review and submit the review. So just a heads up that that's coming so you can plan accordingly, especially as you're trying to finish up your annotated bibliographies, is that you will have to be reviewing 2 peers chapter 1. So that's there. When you're looking to claim when you're looking to claim your 2 to review, please try to find one that doesn't have anybody signed up for it yet. Or if all of them have someone signed up for it, then make sure that you find one that only has 1 person, because what we don't want to do is get to the end and have nobody to review that final paper. So please just kind of keep an eye on things. And like I said, all you have to do is respond to it and say, I will review yours. And then you have until Sunday to actually do the review and post it. But it's important to claim them early so we can make sure everybody's is assigned to 2 people. All right. So again, week 4 is super, super busy. So get a head start on this if you can when you're in week 3. Also, in the announcements section, there are samples that are posted. They're not released for you at this time, but they will be released once we get to that. So you'll see, here's a sample. I'll just go ahead and share this with you now. This is a sample of an annotated bibliography submission. So it kind of gives you an idea as to what to expect. But again, this will be posted when we actually get to week 3 of the class. So it's ready and waiting. I just don't want to overwhelm you with everything, but it is there. So I'm leaving it up on the screen so you can read it if you need it. So that wraps up week 3. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am here to help. Thank you so much, and God bless your week.